Mari and Miho, we are delighted to help develop your tutoring business. We have helped prepare an explanation in video format on how to approach your business with the following concepts: business structures, financial considerations, user-centric design, and models of key business processes in which, ideally, a website for student enrollment and administration must be created. There exist three general types of business structures. The first is called a sole trader, or sole proprietorship. Sole traders operate individually. They own and supply the business, making all business decisions. Sole traders are simple to create. They operate while having full control over their business, retaining all profits. While sole traders are simple to set up, generating capital is not. Additionally, they are fully responsible for any debts and legal issues and risk losing assets. The business will cease if the owner quits or dies. Partnerships are similar in some regard, only involving a second person in the formation of the business. Profits, debts, and responsibilities for actions made are shared between the owners, and there is less of a burden in workload as decision-making is split, and support and collaboration are involved to achieve visions of profit and business autonomy. Poor collaboration could equally end a business, risking dissolution. It is important when establishing a partnership that each partner understands these risks. A limited liability company is an independent legal entity safeguarding capital assets and ensuring the burden of liability is not on the individual owners and shareholders. This burden is shifted to the company itself, treated as its own person. Companies are difficult to set up and comply with the Companies Act. They are taxed according to the 30% company tax rate. Honor your wishes of protecting your current and future assets. We recommend registering your business as a limited liability company. As a company, there's lots of potential for growth, as this is a structure ideal fit for hiring staff, attracting investors or partners, domestic and international scaling, as well as establishing a brand if they grow to that point. Company tax can also be more beneficial than personal income tax at higher income levels, and they can also draw salaries and distribute dividends, offering tax planning flexibility. A company would also allow for a more professional appearance, especially important as an upcoming institution in the education sector. It is important to note that in the future for any company, having a limited liability can have its positives and negatives. Suppliers and lenders may be hesitant to work with a company if its owners are not personally liable for its debts. For the education sector, this is just as important, because as owners you are the face of the institution. You can be the direct reflection of your product, who you hire. And aside from pricing, this is significant to parents and students on whether to enroll into your institution or not. A few examples of tutoring companies are Kumon and Kip McGrath. Financial statements show the cash flow of a business, looking at different transactions between accounts. It is important for any business to track the units of money coming into your account, as well as where money is going out of as expenses or debts. There are two general types of financial statements. The income statement shows revenue, expenses, and net income over a period. It tracks business performance and determines profitability, analyzing areas that generate income and areas where costs can be reduced, essential for budgeting. The balance sheet provides a snapshot on the business's financial position at a point in time. It displays the values of the different accounts: asset, liabilities, equities, expenses, and income. It is important for a business's financial health and is mostly accessed by banks or investors to evaluate the viability of lending or investing. There are 5 accounting elements. Assets are the things you own. Currently, you own savings in cash, a home, your cars, but in the future, assets would be websites and software tools, technological equipment, as well as a term called accounts receivable, money that is owed to you but has not been received. Liabilities are things you owe. We expect things like leasing costs for tutoring space or base of operations, business loans if startup costs are needed, purchasing domain for website, and costs that come subsequently. Equity is one's share in the business and what they truly own, with all liabilities removed. Going back to the accounting equation, rearranging for equity would be assets minus liabilities. Equity would include things like savings used for capital, listed as owner's equity, retained earnings, money that stays in the business without withdrawal. Income and expenses branch alongside equity as they both contribute to the owner's share of the business. Expected income are, of course, generated through online tutoring sessions. They may also earn additional revenue from workshops, group classes, or by selling educational resources like practice sheets or ebooks. Expected expenses include rent for the leased tutoring space, tutor wages or contractor payments, marketing costs, website maintenance, software subscriptions, utilities, internet, insurance, and professional services like accounting or legal fees. The user-centric design model likens itself in ways that align with UX design, standing for user experience. While UI design is concerned with the visual construction of a website, such as graphic design, typography, or even the shape and size of buttons, UX design takes all of that into account. How the user feels when interacting with a website. Refer back to the actual design of the website and ask, is this comfortable? Is this easy to use for all ages? Are links or buttons noticeable? Such questions have the power to affect the success of your business, given it is primarily conducted online. The model does not necessarily have to apply to only digital scenarios. It is a core model to any business selling a product. The business must 1. Empathize. Be open with users. Be open with research. Survey on the needs of users. 2. Record. Note down every kind of problem in the log. Record the type of person, age, their personality, and their issue. Say, for a restaurant, one single customer is allergic to a particular ingredient. You must then be prepared to combat that issue in future events. 3. Prototyping. Create sketches as the client for a web designer. Have a clear intention of how your product should look. Ensure there are links like the home page, dashboard, booking and payment pages. And 4. Testing. Release it to the public. See what works and see what doesn't. The process repeats. Using that information leads us to developing our end goal, a website. Every business should have a model of how a typical day should look like. This flowchart model visualizes the transaction of a student wanting to enroll into your institution via the website. A series of actors are at play, each of them belonging in a different swim lane. Observe how each of them interact with each other across the entire model. It is cross-functional in nature. For your business, model actors should include students or parents, the information system tasked with processing inquiries, receiving and sending information, and generating invoices, administrators, which are you guys, handling tasks like finalizing enrollment and reviewing receipts, and tutors, who you will eventually hire to help oversee student learning. The process would go as such. A student or parent initiates the process, expressed by the ovular green terminator symbol, with the intent to enroll in an after-school tutoring institution. They discover and open the website, where they can receive relevant information about programs and offerings. The student is encouraged to attend a trial session to assess academic level, teaching quality, and student satisfaction. The information system logs the inquiry automatically. An administrator reviews the student's background. Suitable tutors are selected based on the student's level, and the tutor receives the information. The tutor schedules and conducts an initial trial, assesses learning needs, and determines the student's level. A feedback form is sent to gauge satisfaction and ask whether the student wishes to continue or not. The administrator and tutor review the trial session feedback. The student or parent decides whether to continue. If no, they may reconsider their options or end the process. If yes, the system provides details about student expectations, term fees, and important dates. The student is directed to the payment screen, where they input payment details. If payment is declined, the process may pause or request alternative payment, or they may request to reconsider options or once again end the process. If the payment is accepted, the system moves forward. The information system generates an invoice, which is reviewed by both the system and administrator. The administrator then reviews the student's placement level and enlists the student in the appropriate program. Once enrolled, the student is successfully registered and ready to attend future tutoring sessions. The final green terminator symbol indicates the process ends here. We look forward to your business's fruition someday. Mari and Miho, best of luck.